Alrighty, so here's that 25 Yukon AT4. This is a regular Yukon, so it is the shorter chassis. It's not the Yukon XL. Now, this does have the 20-inch wheels on it all the way around. And tires look exactly the way I would expect them to for 12,000 some odd miles. And there is plenty of tread left in those. So let's start right up here on the front end. And we're going to work our way all the way around, and then we'll jump inside too. A couple little stone chippies on the front bumper, which I would fully expect. A couple up in here too. And there's one right there next to the license plate. One there. Can't tell for sure if that's a bug spot or a stone chip, so I'm going to show it to you anyways. It does, of course, have the front park sensors on it. Front end looks nice and clean. Underneath, let's check the edge of the hood. A little stone chippy. I mean, nothing that I would tell you that's abnormal up here at all. Handful of little stone chips, which, I mean, I expect to see. It's what happens on any vehicle as you drive them down the highway. It does have a set of, I'm not sure if these are factory or if they're aftermarket, but it does have a set of big mud guards, splash guards, whatever you want to call them. We've got power boards on it. It's got floor liners. Passenger seat looks absolutely gorgeous. It does have the AT4 embroidered up there. It is a bench row in the second. And then there's a little button right back here. So we'll just hit it and it'll fold down. Hit it one more time and it'll go ahead and collapse up so you can get in and out of the third row. And third row looks gorgeous. Doesn't look like anybody's hardly even been back there. I don't smell anything inside of here. Also, another big advantage to this newer generation is we finally put the seats on tracks with this front level. So you can see you can put a pretty good distance between all the way forward and all the way back. It does have heated outboard rear seats, separate climate. You got a 110 down there. Got the big sunroof in her. Wheels are all nice and clean. I don't see any curbing or anything like that on them. Coming on out back here. Rear bumper looks great. I don't. Only a little bitty scratch there on the lift gate. Does have the floor liners back here as well, and you'll see they go up the back of the seats. So as I take and flip these seats forward, which is power, the nice thing is it covers it all the way forward. This side will do it too, but I'm guessing it's probably too far back, so it's not going to go quite all the way down. Yep, just like that. Now, once you get these down, you can slide the seats back a little bit farther, but you do have to have them a little bit forward to be able to put them down. Small additional storage down here. And by small, I mean, you can see it's, 2-3 inches deep, something like that. It's not real deep at all. We do also have a 110 back there as well. And the walls are pretty darn clean. A couple little bitty marks right here. This side looks real good. Yeah, so the back walls are pretty darn clean. Usually I tend to see a lot of scratching on those, but this one's pretty darn clean. Now, we do have separate glass in this, so you can load it up some and then open the glass and load some more. And you can see main handles here, the glass is like right there. There's a little black button. Coming on around to the driver's side here, there's a better view of those big mud guards, splash guards, whatever you want to call them. We do, of course, have the DEF fluid under here, being a diesel. It does have a scratch right here on the door. It's super light, I can't feel it. Probably will need to get that buffed for you. I would imagine if we buff it, it'll come out most of the way. Now, these seats, from this angle you can see it. Most angles, these seats look like they're black. They're not actually black. They're actually a real dark, like forest green. And you can also see it here on the door panel. So this is the green, there's the black. So the interior on this thing's pretty cool, something completely different, that's for sure. And then coming on up here, the driver's door has a small scratch right there. That one actually, that one I think is something on it actually, because you can see I pretty much scratched through it, the scratch right there with my fingernail. And then this front fender, I need to get looked at, because it's got a mark here that's pretty decent, there and there. And I can't feel any of them, so I'm not sure if they tried to buff it or if they have not tried to buff it, but I will certainly get this buffed, because I'm going to tell you from my experience, you can see the 3 marks right here. From my experience, I bet you at least 95% of that will come out, just because I can't feel it at all. Of course, we do have memory seating. We've got power flip-in mirrors. We've got the Bose audio. Again, it does have the green interior, something kind of wild different. And then of course, with this being a 25, it's got the new interior. So what I mean by that, obviously you have a massive touchscreen right here. You'll have all your climates down here. One thing I do like is we still have buttons for the climate itself, and you can go up or down either way. But then above that, we'll have all of our radio stuff, all of our camera views, which of course it has the 360 view on. Up here we also will have our Google Maps. Now you'll have the remainder of the 8-year trial on that. You have auto parking on here, controls. There's a lot of stuff we used to have physical buttons for, like home link, power step assist. And then also you'll see right here, there's a little button. That is your storage up above there. And then with this center screen, so the little hump you're seeing here at the bottom is the camera for the Super Cruise. But that is fully customizable too. So you can change the way it looks. You can also project mapping up there, which is really handy if you're ever out traveling and you're not 100% positive where you're going. It's kind of nice to have it right in front of you. Safety alert screen. And then kind of back to the more normal look. So because this vehicle does have Super Cruise, you'll notice you have the Super Cruise button here. You'll have the standard cruise control. So with this, you'll actually have 3 different types of cruise. You'll have regular old cruise control. If you press and hold the cancel button here, you'll see it'll come up. Regular cruise selected. If we press that same button and hold it again, adaptive cruise. And then of course you'll have Super Cruise. So you actually have 3 different types of cruise control on this vehicle. Over here we have some shortcut buttons. Let me zoom in just a touch bit so you can see a little nicer what I'm talking about. Of course, parking brake, our 360 cam button, park assist, our override for the start stop so it doesn't shut off at lights. Right here is our lane departure lane keep assist. Right there is our self parking. See over here on the main screen, it's going to ask, hey, are we exiting a parking spot? Are we pulling into one? What do we need to do? And then of course we have our downhill assist control. So think of this as very low speed cruise control. That's really what it's designed for. Traction control off. All of our 4-wheel drive right here. Our mode selector. Let me zoom back out. If we take and turn that, bear with me a second here. Try and get the radio where I want it to be at. So with our mode selector, you'll see it'll come up right here on the main screen and tell you which mode you're in. Normal, sport, off-road, tow haul. But it also does change it right down there too. You can see you got the little mountains for off-road, you got your tow mode. And you can also see it's coming up telling you exhaust grade braking on and off. So with exhaust braking, think of it kind of like a semi with a jade brake. The bottom part of that button does our adaptive for the height. So we do have air ride on this one. It is adjustable. And then of course right next to that we have our fog lights, our main headlight control, our dimmer, and then of course over here is our trailer brake controller. This vehicle is absolutely gorgeous. I get those handful of little spots buffed on the one side there, and I really will have nothing to complain about. Of course we do have the big roof. It is a power shade. Everything in front of that black bar right there opens, slides, does all of that. The back is just stationary glass. And then of course up over your head here, we do have controls for our rear seats, our power lift gate, and then our shutting off the interior light controls. Of course, down below your big massive touchscreen, wireless charging. And so we got some USBs down there. I do of course have both keys for it. We open this up, you'll have some additional storage in here, as well as another USB and USB-C. And then over here in the glove box, there's your block heater. These cars do not come with owner's manuals anymore. It is now electronic. So if we go right here to my GMC, bear with me a second, out here in the middle of the cornfield, we do not have the greatest cell service you've ever seen. So this stuff is a little slower than what it normally is. So you'll see right here, there's our owner's manual. We can browse by catalog, we can go into our separate books, whatever you need to see, but it's all built into the radio screen now. So let me know what questions you have, and if it's something you're definitely interested in, I will certainly get her down to detail and get those couple spots buffed up and send you an additional video afterwards showing you, hey, this is how she came out. But like I said, I personally don't want to lose any sleep over that stuff, because I think a huge chunk of that will come out once we buff it. So appreciate your time, and thank you very much.